And I now give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation.
Thank you, Madam President. We wish to thank the Special Envoy of the Secretary General, Michel Kafando, the chair of the Burundi configuration of the Peace Building Commission, the ambassador, the current representative of Switzerland, Mr. Jörg Lauber, for the comprehensive briefings. I wish to begin with a few words in connection with the meeting held today, the report of the Secretary General that is before us. To be frank, we were quite surprised at the haste that we have observed in the drafting thereof. The Secretariat has demonstrated a willingness to adopt additional delays, is especially surprising in the light of the well-known financial difficulties being endured by the United Nations, to which the Secretary General has been pointing to with alarm. We urge the Secretariat in future to strictly hew to the resolutions adopted by the Security Council and not to allow for this to recur. Now, turning to the content of the report, we note with satisfaction that since late August 2019's informal interactive dialogue on Burundi, the security situation in that country has not fundamentally worsened. The situation there remains relatively calm and is advancing steadily towards stabilization. The voluntary return of refugees to Burundi is ongoing. We welcome the signing in this connection in August 2019 of an intergovernmental agreement with Tanzania on the repatriation of Burundian citizens from that country. We note that the Burundian authorities continue to undertake measures to prepare for the principal political event in the country, namely the May 2020 forthcoming presidential, parliamentary, and regional elections. The electoral timetable has been agreed to and is being complied with. Funds have been earmarked to cover elections from the national budget. The number of registered political parties clear for participation is growing. We welcome what was organized in August and September under the aegis of the first Vice President and Minister of the Interior of Burundi, namely a meeting with the participation of political leaders and the leadership of regions in preparation for elections. We were especially heartened to see the participants in these meetings include representatives from opposition parties, including the National Congress of Freedom. We believe that what is useful is the fact that the National Electoral Commission is continuing to engage in awareness-raising efforts with the broader populace. We urge the leadership of Burundi to continue and pursue such measures. With respect to the incidents of violence that have been reflected in the report, in this connection, I wish to draw attention to the following. In order to generate a more objective portrayal of the situation, it would be more appropriate not to describe individual instances of human rights, but rather to introduce and to consider the relevant statistics in real time. With this approach, the situation that has unfolded does not appear to be quite as dire. Madam President, a significant subject for political disputes in Burundi has long been taken off the table. The President, Mr. Nkurunziza, has long made assurances not to stand as a candidate in forthcoming elections, and the leading party, the CNDD-FDD, intends to announce its candidature early in 2020. We note with satisfaction that the Burundian government has adopted measures to establish dialogue with the opposition. In this regard, we welcome what was held in Nairobi and Bujumbura. I refer to meetings with the exiled opposition platform, the CNARED. Distinguished colleagues, once again, we call for the sovereignty of Burundi to be upheld. The Russian Federation categorically repudiates intervention in the domestic affairs of that country, specifically in the context of elections. We believe today there is all the more need to support the efforts of the national government of Burundi at the socioeconomic level. In this connection, we welcome measures undertaken through the country configuration of the United Nations Peacebuilding Commission in support of implementation of the 2018 to 2027 National Development Plan adopted in Bujumbura. We believe that further progress on this track would be facilitated by the restoration of economic assistance to Burundi, fully in line with the outcomes of the African Union summits in Nouakchott in July 2018 and in Addis Abeba in February 2019, especially given that African colleagues view economic impact measures that have been adopted as sanctions. On the whole, we continue to be of the view that the ongoing close attention of the Council on Burundi is counterproductive. It is time to remove this country from the already busy agenda of the Security Council. Thank you for your attention.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation for his statement.